At DTD, we take upon an approach where opinions or restrictions that others put on us means nothing, holds no value. We do more and doubt less.
So hustle, motivate, we always levitate. Never hesitate, get the pistol heavyweight. Blowing on the beat, and you know it's on me. Young CD, and you know I'm on the beat. So lemon pepper freestyle all day, every day. Man, I'm chilling, trying to get it in the real. It's leveling the climb. Man, I got a spill, but I'ma kick it with my homeboy, Kimmy Q. That is my dude.
Yes.
We gon' flow and let them niggas know how I go.
Said he got a spill. Me and CD, we gotta build. Gotta chase a mill. Gotta get $1 bill. Gotta get $1 and turn it to another. CD, yeah, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Kimmy, that's my sister.
Yeah. And that's facts.
And that's facts. And that's facts. And it's DTD. What's good? It's Q. Welcome to the DTD podcast. I'm here with
Court.
Kimmy.
Kimmy. She's a new guest. You feel me? Start with you.
Okay.
Where you from?
Chicago.
Chicago. Born and raised?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised. Okay.
Chi-town, baby.
Gotcha.
Just let him.
Fuck it. But explain growing up in Chicago a little bit.
Okay. I feel like everyone's experience is different, right? Like Chicago is like built up of like many different races and neighborhoods and like ethnicities, but I grew up on the south side of Chicago in Hyde Park or like Kenwood. And I feel like that experience is like different from what most other people get. Especially like I went to a high school that was like a selective enrollment high school. So it's a public school, but you have to test into it.
Okay.
So like that means that everyone from Chicago can go there. Like it's not like a neighborhood high school. But where my neighborhood is and where I went to like elementary, middle school, like most of my childhood is in like a predominantly black neighborhood, which is what the south side of Chicago is and the west side. So I feel like that experience is different because I am like obviously not black. And so I like living there my entire life. I've never really felt any different per se, because like that's where I was born there, and I lived there like from 1 to 18 until I left for here. And my first like time like outside of the south side was when I went to high school, which was like only 4 years ago. But I don't know, it was an amazing time and also like a horrible time at the same time. Like living in the south side, it has its kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like precious moments, right? Like most other neighborhoods, because it's like so concentrated with like the same kind of people, right? Like middle, lower income people of color, as opposed to like a neighborhood that has everyone, or a neighborhood that's like predominantly white, which is what the north side of Chicago is. And so like being there, I like got to experience like different things that I would have never had I not lived there, because I'm not like black. And so I don't know, like it's like interesting, because coming here to like predominantly like white college as a half person like that is white and of like Asian descent, so
we
like,
don't talk about that.
Oh okay. But yeah, so that's my spiel. I don't know, it's a very like it was like just very normal to me. I don't know.
So let's touch upon, you said you're not black. So what are you?
What am I? I'm half white, like fucking all white people, like German, Scottish is what my dad's side of the family is, and my mom's Vietnamese.
Is there anything else you think podcasts should know about you before we get started?
Well, I got a question though.
What's the
How
question?
did you get like to Brown? Like, what was your path coming here? Like,
so I'm like, I would say pretty intelligent. I don't know, like I'm not a test taker though. Like I did not do well on SAT, ACT. Like I'm not smart like that. I'm not quick, but I feel like I'm like perceptive. So like that's also why I am on the podcast, because I think podcasts are like an example of where you can really like dive into certain topics, right? Whether it's like literally a topic about food or whatever, like you can have, it's like such a range, right? And so that's why I think it's cool and I support that. And so anyway, I don't know. I think I got here because when I was in school, I was like I tried a little bit, but I also like took the time to live my life. Like I wasn't always in the books. No, definitely not. And I still am not. I'm doing homework now. And so I think through that, I like experience things that like kids don't try to experience. Yeah. So therefore, when I was like writing for college applications or like thinking about like why I want to go to college, not just for the pure like, oh, I want to get a degree. No, like I want to like meet new people and like live a new experience. And so I think my application basically for Brown like kind of highlighted that like through like videos, like essays, etc. But
that's smooth though. Yeah, because like I feel like that's like the before you do your thing. I think that it's like the balance though. I think that's what they look for.
Right.
You know, because nobody wants somebody who's all in one way or all way another. You know, you gotta have that balance. So
exactly.
I can understand that.
Yeah. All right.
Bow. Boom. If you ain't tuned in before, we've talked not about this, but the point I wanted to touch on was just I've said everybody at Brown is talented. Everybody here got goals. Everybody got ambitions. I think everything she just said is an example of that. And this is another perspective, another example of a student here, not an athlete, but she got a story just like everybody else. You feel me?
Nah, for real though, that's facts though.
It's a fact.
I'm not an athlete, but I hit the gym though.
Hit the gym, yeah. She still be
Come on.
She still do more push-ups than a lot of y'all
soul.
niggas. A lot of y'all nigga. Bow. That's how.
Bow.
What's the most crucial thing for a healthy relationship?
What kind of relationship? Any
relationship.
communication?
Boom. Okay.
You gotta go deeper than
But before you go deeper than that,
what I say?
what's the most crucial thing for a healthy relationship?
Communication, I can get that, bro. But I think not space, but I want to say like understanding, so to speak. Especially at our age, like I feel like you got to give people their space to grow, bro. So like, I feel like in our ages and stuff, being in a relationship now, like people don't give their significant others or even their friends space to grow because they meet them in this one form of them and then they won't let them grow into something else. So like, I feel like if you're not willing to see somebody for what they can become, you're only gonna see it for what they are, then you can't grow with that person. Like you either gonna grow together or you grow apart. But either way, somebody gotta move. So I think that would be my biggest piece. I think, you know, outside of communicating, you gotta be able to talk, but you gotta be able to understand it. And sometimes a lot of growth don't come from talking, bro. Like,
nah, I feel that. I feel that to the fullest. She just said some very real shit. That's the best way to explain it. Now, before I say whatever I gotta say, I want to hear you elaborate on communication.
Okay. Well, first, obvious. I think it's like like communication with words, but with also like body language and like acts, right? Like I'm not purely speaking of like what we're saying to one another, right? I feel like that I guess would be my biggest thing is one because of past like relationships, both like platonic and romantic and sexual, like communication has been lost, and I feel like it's very easy to do that because it's like, why would you want to like talk about something you're uncomfortable talking about? Right? Like you can talk about most people can talk everyone's ears off if they're talking about something they like, right? But like if you dislike something or you're uncomfortable, why would you want to talk about? Like you're nervous. I mean, instinctively. I mean, at least I am.
Me too.
And so I like oftentimes think that in a relationship, you kind of like, I feel like how you were saying too, like that it's like one form. Like you don't really want to mess up the form, or you don't want to change. Like change is scary, right? So like you don't want to mess with this, so you don't talk. Like if someone is doing you wrong, or there's something that like bothers you, and you decide not to say something because you think that that's like a solution for the present, right? Like you're like, oh, we'll get to it later. Like I'm not trying to stir the pot right now. But then like when you get to later, it's still there, and then it's even worse because you like hurt someone's feelings, like in any relationship. So that's why I feel like
and
the first thing.
Going off of that, like I feel like resentment is like the biggest killer in a relationship. Like if you like that shit built up, bro. Like, I don't know, like.
Right. Well, because it's like
That's
like
what
an
I'm saying,
urge.
you know. And then the more it get, the more it's like whatever that person says, does, or acts
Gets worse.
That's what I'm saying. You know.
It's like the ick.
Little, you know.
Ick.
You know,
I like that word.
Tolerate that person.
Right. And like if you would have had just like spared yourself and like the other person's feelings by just starting like, I do not like when you do that. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Killing it off the rip. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's what I think.
I like that from both of you. But I have a take, I guess.
Okay, let's
Most
hear it.
crucial thing for a healthy relationship, I think, is trust. I think you can't have a relationship without trust. Simply because I know, like, okay, no. Let me reword that. You can't have a meaningful relationship, in my opinion, without trust. Because I know just from, like, my relationship with y'all two, like, I haven't known y'all for that long, but I feel like I can trust y'all to a certain extent. And I know without that, there wouldn't be a relationship.
We're just being associated, like.
Exactly. Y'all would just be people I probably see and never really think of. So, I think just relationships can't start in general without trust.
So, I give you pushback, though.
You're talking to me.
Like, can you still trust somebody if they don't tell you everything that you want to know? But it's like your own pushback. Like, I'm wording this wrong, but I'm saying like.
No, I think so you're saying
like if they don't tell you everything, but they tell you what you need
what
to know.
you need to hear.
So
I'm not lying to
yeah.
you, but
So trust, but if that, I feel like your definition of trust is not just encompassing the truth, right? Truth and trust is like honesty and trust are not the same thing.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what
That
you're,
is true.
I see your question.
Right.
I get it.
So they may not tell you. They might not be completely honest with you, but they trust you enough.
Like, do you need honesty for trust?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I know that an example of that is if you were to tell me something that you didn't want me to tell anybody else, you're trusting me with that.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody came to me like, bro, what you know about core? I'm going to be like, I don't know nothing. And I'm lying to them, but based off of the trust that we have.
Yeah, that's
you feel
another
me?
connection, like another line of
Yeah.
relation.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Nah, I get that though, but I don't know. Like sometimes people, not saying that to tell you what you want to hear, but sometimes I feel like you gotta know the situation. Sometimes people don't need to hear everything at one time. Not saying that I'm lying to you, but you just gotta kind of give it in bits and pieces, because sometimes whatever you want to say can be a lot to digest.
To trust somebody, I don't think you have to have honesty.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks to hear or say.
But like even like little shit though, like if you got a girl, how do I look in this? If you don't really fuck with it. I'm just,
Yeah, and that's
cliche,
true. That's
you
true.
know,
That's
but,
true.
You know,
How do I look in this? Terrible.
but hey, you know.
I ain't gonna lie, Corey telling the world that he's had examples like that.
Nah, my shorty loves my
Got your ass.
I'm not.
Chill, bro. Probably won't watch this, so I'm straight. I hope.
Say
Nah, all my people watching this, bro, I love y'all, man. Keep watching. And share. Tell y'all people. Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. We ain't got no button, but y'all know, like, y'all know how to do that. Y'all know that. Think the future will be better than the present? And let me reword that. Do you think the future will be better than what life is now?
I have two takes. This is why I have two takes. One is that if you like are in the moment and you don't like your situation and you're striving for more in this age of like this stage of your life, and you would prefer to like go make your own money, live in a house, whatever, then yeah, in the future you're going to be happy if you end up in that state. But I also think no, because this is like just based off of some like current event stuff, but like we had a president in power who shouldn't have been there recently. We have a war going on in Europe right now.
Wow, true.
And we are killing our earth like slowly, like the climate change. And so like in that regard, I don't think we're getting better, like, or that it's going to be better because of the way that we as a society treat like what like life is, or like what this earth means to them. But I think on like a micro level, like for yourself, yeah, it's gonna get better. It's like because you're growing, right? I mean, hopefully there's some people that don't grow and their life actually was better before, and they get into some bad shit and lead down a different spiral. But like, yeah,
I feel like a simplified way to say that is being realistic. shit's probably not gonna get better based off how we treat the world.
Yes.
But everybody should look at like their
Their-
own individual
yes,
lane
exactly.
with an optimistic view,
Yeah.
and that's truth.
That
I'm
would,
a little low over there, cuz.
my bad. That would never be like my goal. Like the goal is to always be better than I was yesterday, the day before that, and the year before that. You know, like.
Wow.
But I guess what y'all talking about climate change and stuff, yeah. But I don't know. Like, I guess I'm like, what's the word? Like I'm an optimist, I guess.
Yeah.
Cause like,
And I can attest to that.
yeah, you
I'm
can.
with you a lot,
You know,
you feel
yeah.
me?
Cause I feel like I don't know, like the world. I don't know, like I believe in humanity in a way.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way it's kind of like cheesy and cliche, I guess. Cause
I think it's real.
it is, but like I don't know. I guess I've always
I
like,
think only real can understand that.
yeah, but
So
not.
I don't understand.
Huh?
So I
Nah,
don't
you're real, so you understand.
Nah, but I'm just saying, like, just to finish
I
the
ain't saying
point,
nobody.
like,
I ain't. Wait. Hold on. I ain't saying nobody.
you
I'm not saying people are not real, but if you real, you know what I'm saying.
I just think that, like, you know, like I believe in humanity in a way, so I feel as if like we're always gonna figure it out. So that what gives me kind of comfort, you know. Like I believe that some genuine people in high-ranking places who legitimately want to make changes, you know, who can, you know, and like I feel like we as a people, as like society as a whole, you know, as the world, we got to be like, all right, we're gonna make this change, and we all need to do X, Y, and Z. I feel like if that could happen, you know, stuff could really change, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess I hope that we have a wake-up call, you know, before it's really, really too late, because we're getting close to that point.
Right.
I'm not like up on the whole climate change or stuff like that, but like, you know, like the stuff in Russia and Ukraine and stuff like that, like I feel like people here at least seem to be really on the right side of history, so to speak. I know that some of the people over there are kind of messed up. Like I heard that they like keeping black people out, not crossing the borders.
Yeah,
Ukraine,
they're letting
which is, like,
Ukrainians pass, but not Africans. Like
yeah,
African
you know, which
Ukrainians.
That's crazy.
fuck, you know.
I didn't know that.
So like we're really watching some of the bad parts of history replay themselves. But I feel like here in America, from what I can see and what I feel, you know, from a conversation, I feel like we're on the right side of history in this one, you know. So some things definitely have to be changed, you know. But like, it is what it is, you know. So
Nah, I feel you.
that's like,
I feel you. What is something that you feel that most people learn, but they don't learn it until it's too late?
Are you talking about like a skill or like a?
I'm talking about a lesson, like
Oh,
something.
okay.
So yeah, something you had to learn from.
Okay.
I think that like people learn that it's their life too late. Like sometimes a lot of people live through the perception of other people. Like how would I look if I did this, or how would they view me if I did that? You know, I feel like a lot of people make decisions based off of how people perceive them. So like for me, I think I started learning that when I got older, like recently, honestly, that like, you know, whatever interests you, whatever you want to do it, you know, and do it wholeheartedly, you know, because like at the end of the day, bro, you really only get one chance at this, you know, like nobody knows what's on the other side, you know. So like for me, I'm gonna do whatever makes me happy. If that means sleep this or work out this or, you know, lift that, and this just whatever I want to do, I'm gonna do. And that's was one of my New Year resolution actually, to don't do something if I don't want to do it. If I don't want to do it, don't do it. If I want to do it, do it. And I feel like that's made my kind of quality of life that much better, just because, you know, like I'm doing what I want to do, so I feel like I'm me, you know, and that's kind of gave me a great sense of comfort, you know, no matter where I'm at, who I'm with, when I'm talking to, you know, just be you. So
I think that that's something that most people don't learn.
I'm gonna put a spin on it though. I feel like people learn how to make money too late. Cause I still feel like we're still all trying to figure out like what we want to do with our lives, how we about to make money, how we about to live, basically. But it's like, why we gotta learn? Like, why we gotta wait to learn that?
Like for example, like hustling versus not, right? So like using your ability as well. I think the first part of the question is that obviously up until now we were children in a way, right? Up until 18, you're a child. Like you're legally bound to someone, all that stuff.
Yeah.
For most people, there are a lot of people that don't have that.
Yeah,
same.
you're right,
Like,
yeah.
most people grow up. I mean, people depending on where they're from grow up before they ever became a child. Like they're already adults
Yeah,
because
that's
of their
fact.
circumstances.
that's a whole nother topic.
Right, that's a whole different thing. But I think like, is that what you're trying to say? Like why
think
do we
not.
like build up to that, and why don't we just learn that now?
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. But based off what I did say, I think like another spin on that is not that people learn how to make money, or not that we learn how to make money too late, but I think some of the ways we learn how to make money, I wish that could be untaught.
I get what you're trying to say. It's like the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like a lot of minorities, bro, get that. And a lot of black people or minorities in general will talk, work hard, and that's how you make money.
But
the harder you work, the more money you make, which is just not true.
Exactly.
Sometimes the hardest working people make the least amount of money.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's
so whereas the people at the top, they make their money work for them.
Yeah.
So just because somebody who worked, freaking X amount of hours, 9 to 5 shift, and pulled in $30,000 a year, if they, took $10,000 of that and invested it into like buying like, a small apartment or something like that, rented it out, bought a duplex, lived in one, rented out the other one, and then had people pay their rent and the mortgage and the overhead. Now they living in there for free. I get what you're trying to say. So sometimes working, you got to understand that just because you have a job doesn't necessarily mean that, you
got it.
I get what you're trying to say, though, bro.
I appreciate that. And you giving niggas a blueprint to wealth. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be watching.
Yeah, for real.
I'm gonna let y'all know, though, it's just 2 podcasts I watch called Earn Your Leisure and like the Wall Street Trapper.
Boom.
So it's like,
I ain't got no links, but I might send them this clip and say what's up, ask them to.
So I'll be watching, though, but it's just free game, though,
That's
so
dope.
It's just certain stuff. But anyway, I get what you're saying, though, bro. Just because you work hard don't necessarily mean that you're gonna make the most amount of money, so.
Yeah, and truthfully, I also think like some of the ways that we are taught to make money, like in the streets, that shit is not productive. It might end up costing you your life.
I mean, I don't know.
And I'm not saying that, get your money. I ain't gonna lie, get your money. Stay safe. But all I'm saying is there is risk to that.
I feel like the counter to that is like there's a reason why like you have to do those risky jobs because
that's fair,
right? Like
they pay off well.
Pay off like you need money. How else are you gonna earn it if you don't have a way into a place like here, right? Most people don't get that, so it's like that's why I think.
And I feel that, but if you look at statistics, and I don't even know statistics, young African Americans, like rappers rap about this all the time. Young African Americans are dying at an early age, right? Why is that? Because they're involved in the streets, and that's how they know how to get money. So I'm saying if somebody sat all of them down and taught them a different way, the violence might stop. You feel me?
No, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
my only thing is about like why. I mean, which people how do we know? Like why are we like how do we get out of there? Like who's gonna be teaching the financial accountant?
That's nobody.
Right?
Yeah, ain't nobody going to the hood with the books and here's class. I understand that.
Even
I'm
then,
just saying,
bro, like,
based off the question, I
feel like they don't even have access though, bro.
Like, that's what I mean.
Forget the whole, like whether they want to do it or not, bro. Like if you haven't seen that, don't have access to it, bro. That's not even gonna be something that appeals to you. So it's like, why would I even give it, my half effort where I can go do X, Y, and Z and make $500 in a night, So I just think that, it just really do just depend on kind of where you see yourself, not knocking nobody.
And that's why, we're not knocking nobody. And I'm gonna just say, whatever you do, if it's risky, stay safe. You feel me? Do what you gotta do. Stick and move how you gotta stick and move.
That's a fact, though, bro.
What are some of the most common like roadblocks or obstacles that stop people from achieving their dreams? Like, what are some of the things that hold people back? In y'all opinion?
Anxiety. Anxiety is like I think is an instinctive like feeling, like what every human feels anxious because it's like your fight or flight response. Like if there's something that's like alarming to you or like makes you uncomfortable or like you're worried about, like there's a reason for that and your body is like physically reacting inside. But I think in terms of like just everyday things or just like even goals, it's like the anxiety comes from like what you were talking about earlier with like perception of people and like how you don't really live for yourself a lot of the time because you're it's not just you in this world, right? You got to deal with everyone else that's around you. And so that's like where the anxiety comes from, though. So like it's that, for me at least, that's what I struggle with.
Devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to disrespect you or anything, but like, have you been diagnosed with anxiety, if you mind me asking?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now my thing is, do you think some people use that whole anxiety thing and don't have it, just because they might feel a little overwhelmed? They kind of check that they have anxiety. To kind of.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think like it's interesting because I don't take medications or anything like that.
Right,
Like
right.
So I don't take meds for it because I just like don't want to. But I do think that there are a lot of people that will just like feel a little bit of like feeling nervous.
Yeah, which is
normal. And but the thing is, I don't think if you're speaking on like general terms of like anxiety, that being nervous and being like overwhelmed sometimes, or like, you know, right, something bad happens, of course you're gonna feel that way. I don't think that is like the same thing as having like general anxiety about like everything.
And I think that's my problem with society today. Not my problem, because like, you know, mental health is real. You know, people really be fighting demons and stuff by themselves and battles, but like I feel like people are so quick to blame it on something, you know?
That's
like
right.
If they like had a bad week, you know, oh, I'm not too happy, and then they want to go talk to somebody about it. Like sometimes I think that you have to go through those emotions to really figure out who you are and kind of how you navigate what works for you, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel as if when you feel as if you're at your lowest moment, you need to remember how it felt to know kind of how you pulled yourself out, you know? So I just think that people always jack that whole, oh, I'm stressed out, so I'm gonna say I have anxiety, or you know, I'm nervous about my test, X, Y, and Z, you know, I have anxiety, where it's really just, no, you're in school, you have assignments, and it's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it, you know? And nothing would feel good if you weren't comfortable about it. So
that's true.
But I don't know, that's just kind of that's my take on it, you know.
And I think it just differs in the sense of how someone was brought up.
That's a fact,
right?
know?
Like most people that can claim that, like blame, right, and be like, oh, that is because I'm like depressed, right, or like I have anxiety, when really it's just like your way for these kinds of people to like put a name to something, like put a, you know, like blame something that isn't themselves, which is like fair, right? Because it's like that's also why people like are into religion, like they want an answer. That's the same thing, like you put like a name to something, it makes you feel better, and it feels like you're not alone, right? Like if you are anxious and you're like, I have anxiety, you know that there's like a full group of people in this world that have anxiety too, and it's not as bad. But I think that's where it's different, where if you don't come from a place that you can claim a mental illness for like some hardships because your life's fucking hard, then you don't like, that's not the same, you know what I mean? That's not the same thing as like the other two. It's not the same. But you do have to like work through it, I think, before you can ever like get to that point. Like those things that, especially if you're like, when you get to the point of like medication or like, you know, an actual diagnosis, like you have to have felt this like for so long and for like very persistent, and you know, just it literally like inhibits your everyday life. Like it makes you unable to do certain things. But in general, like even though I'm like have anxiety, I don't have like I don't blame it on it really all the time. Like I still try, right? And that's okay. Some people can't, but like it just depends on how you, I think, look at it and like where you come from. So but yeah, that's like a barrier that I think people face.
Fact or fiction?
Let
me know. I believe it's facts.
But some people may say it's fiction.
And that's why, at the DTD podcast, we accept and embrace all perspectives.
Yes, sir. Maybe not some, but most. I mean, like the bad ones. But it's your podcast. You do what you want.
Right. You right. That shit's hard.
I think better when music isn't a bad.
Yeah, me too.
So they don't want me to reintroduce the old me, and I'm different. God gave me a gift, and I'm talented on a mission. Said I'm got it. Oh.
He said he gifted, young nigga with it. I don't care, man. Charters gotta quit it. So I'm gonna stop rapping with that nigga.
Yeah, I'm keeping that in.
You're bugging.
What are some of the examples of like the internal pain that cause people to react? that like we don't know about. But like say somebody got a short temper, what's an example of something that might like stir that up? Because that's not like something you're just born with. That's built. Like I feel like you got to come from an environment or a situation that like creates that. So besides environment, what are some other examples?
People are products of where they come from, bro, whether you like it or not. Some way, shape, or form, you're gonna embrace where you're from, bro. You know, and you like, for me, I think I have a good perspective on stuff just because I've been in a lot of certain situations. You know, like I was moved out of my house to go to boarding school when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in a lot of certain situations. You know, I went to 3 high schools in 2 years. I've been around a lot of different people, a lot of different demographics. So like, I feel like I got a lot. It was like a melting pot of just experiences. So like, you know, people in that way, you know, I am the way I am.
Yeah, I was about to say, to build on that, I feel like, just obviously I've known you for a short while, but based off what I know, you always rise to the top. Like at Deerfield, rose to the top, quarterback number 1. Mm-hmm. I don't know where you was at before that, but I'm just saying, based on what I know, you always rise to the top. Mm-hmm. And I think being in a bunch of different situations where you get a lot of perspectives and you, like you said, you are around people from different melting pots, I feel like all that just builds up character, like helps you kind of like, not redefine, but create which parts the world gotta know, refine which parts the world don't gotta always see, which part, for me, I feel like it just makes you better. Simplify that, the more life experiences you have, you're obviously gonna learn more.
Yeah.
Propose the question again?
What are some examples of like internal struggles or pain that people face that cause like reaction? That like, so if you were to see somebody just flash out, you don't know what's causing that. I'm saying like, what are some examples of the things that might be causing that other people don't see, but they only see the reaction?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Same shit as what you said, you know, like product and like what you know and like where you come from. Like there are different things that people don't know about you, and so if there's like something that happens that like causes you to act some type of way and it's different to the people that are like more recently around you, then they wouldn't know why. Like you handle things the way you do. But like I think a big part of it is just like I think like obviously like the negative experiences. So like for women, right, like a lot of like experiences that happen sexually with like whatever partner, like, you know, whatever gender. There are certain experiences that are not the best, and like that leads you to have like kind of this perception of what it would be like in the future, or like what it's always going to be like, right? Like if you only know what sucks and like what isn't good, right, and how like poorly someone treats you, how are you like, why would you expect someone to treat you better like in the future? So I mean that's not what I care about the most, but I feel like that is the biggest like example of that. And like speaking as a woman, like that is something that myself and like other women feel all the time. Like it's pretty rare that you'll find a woman who has like never felt some kind of like internal pain and like suffering from what a sexual romantic partner has done to them. So then like obviously in the future, like you're getting with a new person or like, you know, whatever, like that's always kind of with you. And until you talk about it and like tell that person that, you know, hey, this happened to me and I'm still, you know, kind of iffy about it, then you would never really know, and you'd be curious as to why, like, oh, why does she act like that? Like, why is she afraid of this? Why is she doing that? So that's what I think.
So my question for you is, how do you feel being a woman here on this campus?
Honestly,
like whatever your experience has been, you know?
it's been pretty like good, and I think that is easy to say because we've only been here for like 6 months, and like 6 months, a lot can happen in 6 months. Like things change every single day, but for the most part, like it's been a stable 6 months. But I also like have encountered like experiences and things that I like were uncomfortable by or like did not enjoy, and those have kind of shaped a little bit of how I like perceive like what I'm gonna do, or like then it gets me worried about, like, oh, you know, this is a new campus, like a new place, right? Like, we've all never been here before. And so, like, how do I make sure that I'm not, like, tainting my past, like, my future with my present and future with my past? Because, like, I, like, had, you know, worse experience. Like, I lived 18 years at home. Like, in 18 years, there's, like, a lot that happens that's, like, bad and good, but, like, a lot bad. And so I think, as of right now, my perception of this place has been good because it hasn't been that long and that there hasn't been enough, like, time and, like, instances. But, like, I mean, I'm hoping that this is my answer for the next 4 years, of course. But, like, those things always change. But it's, like, I would like to say, like, most people that I've met here are, like, good people. I was talking about that with, was that you? No, I don't remember. But, like, we were just talking, I was talking, huh?
I don't think it was me.
Maybe it was Ethan, but it was, like, one of us. But we were talking about how, like, everyone here is just so innocent in a way. Not, like, completely, but, and there are some objections to that. But everyone here is, like, a genuine person.
So you think.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, let me.
No,
not facts. Fiction.
No, not facts. Yes, fiction, but, like, out of, like, sample size so far. That's what I'm trying to say. Sample size. Out of the people I have met and I have befriended, all have been great.
But I think that's because you are to attract.
Let me cut you off.
Right, okay.
Let me cut y'all off. She said Ethan. Remember that name. Continue.
Yeah, I just think that you are to attract. So, I mean, I can understand why your experiences haven't been good. So I was just wondering, though, because we got a girl on here, so we got to ask her some female-related questions, you know, just because, like, we haven't, you know, it's our first time.
Yeah, first lady on the podcast.
Saying,
Bow.
What you got, Nick? Oh, okay. All right. Kimmy, what was the worst date you've ever been on?
Gosh.
Wow. Is that? Yeah.
Y'all trying to get into my life.
Yeah, y'all wanted the questions. I got the questions.
Let's see.
I had to dig a little bit, but I got them. What's good?
Worst date I've been on was... Okay, worse than, like, what? Like, what worse are you talking about? Like, it was just, like, not fun? Like, I got the ick? Like, what's the worst?
All of it.
Whatever you feel is the worst.
See, when you ask me that, I know there's a specific time that makes you ask me that. I want to know about that time.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I was on a date with this guy. Ooh, I know it. Here it is. So it was this guy he'll never see this, so it really doesn't matter.
He gonna see this
if
we
we should
blow
see it because...
I hope we blow up,
yeah,
man. Share this with people.
He doesn't see it.
We ain't struggling. We ain't brown. We gonna make it, but this my go ahead, man.
Nah, you're good. Okay, so he was a freshman at Loyola University in Chicago, and I was a senior in high school, and I won't lie, I did meet him on Tinder, so, like, the expectations were not high because it's Tinder, a dating app, and we, like, hung out for the first time, and it was good. So I'm like, okay, I will hang out. Like, I'd hang out again. I, like, come over to, like, an apartment, and we're, like, sitting there, and I wasn't offered anything, like, no water, no nothing.
Ain't even give her water.
No, he goes into the kitchen, and he just starts cooking himself one steak.
One steak, not even two.
Not two, just one. And I'm sitting on the couch, like, okay, like, you invited me over and you're about to cook for yourself.
Yeah,
like, damn.
I was about to say, were you even in the room?
Yes, I was there. Like, I wasn't invited to anything. He comes out, brings out his food, all for him. Still no water.
Damn.
Still nothing.
No hospitality.
No hospitality. He sits there on his ass. Like, he doesn't really register.
Bro's bold.
Yeah, and then he asked to watch a movie. We watch a movie. He mansplains the entire movie to me about what blue collar means. And I was like, you don't think I know what blue collar means?
That's crazy.
And mind you, he's like a rich boy from California. In, like, at Loyola. And
so you need to see this.
And so he didn't treat me with hospitality. Asked me to stay for me. I'm like, okay, sure. Then we watched the movie, and I forgot the name. It was a good movie. But he was mansplaining it to me, and I was like, why are you telling me this? I already know what this is. So I'm like getting ready to leave. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I was like, you don't even need to walk me down. Like, you don't need to do all that. He thought I said, please walk me down, and responds like, I have shorts on. Like, I don't want to walk you down. But I had said, like, don't walk me down. So he was never going to, but you know, you could have lied. You could have been like, are you sure? Like, you sure? But not do it. Then, yeah. So then
there's more. I
leave, and he like texts me like the next day, and in the future, like, oh, like, when are you coming over next, and whatever. And I just like
so people just naive.
Yeah. So that was the worst date of my entire life because I was misconceived. Like, I thought it was gonna be fun because the first time was fun, and the second time was that, and that was the real him.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
Always
be hospitable, like, no matter what, like, even because like even there's some people that don't pay attention to those things, you know, like, they come in
or just get with the program. It's like some of y'all don't got it, get it.
So yeah, worst date.
Wow. How much do you judge a person by their physical appearance?
Are we talking about like
like
things people I'm interested in?
Yeah.
Honestly, not that much because, well, actually, that's a lie. I'm lying.
I know it.
I'm lying. Okay, for starters, though, I'm going to just say I work out, but I'm not, like, fit, crazy fit, like, none of that. I wouldn't even consider, like, I'm not skinny. Like, I wouldn't consider myself skinny. And there are, like, things that...
I'm listening.
Okay, we're talking about my experience, right? So I'm just...
Never mind.
So, I, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm an ideal body type, so how am I supposed to, like, impose a body type on someone I like and expect them to have it when I still have to work on stuff, right? That's the preface. Right. But,
yeah,
I do look at it. Like, I do think about it. Like, I'm 5'4". I would never... Well, that's rude, but, you know, sorry to all the little shorties. But I would never, I'm sorry, I would not. I just am not, like, attracted to someone that is shorter than me, for one, my height, or even, like, just a little bit. Like, you gotta be over.
You gotta have at least 4 or 5 inches on her.
Yeah.
Bro, that's your
in the height.
Yeah. And so that is one thing. And then I guess the other thing is I don't care about, like, how muscular you are at all. Like, I've been with people who are, like, skin and bones. Like, nothing on, no muscle on them. But I do think that if you are, like, a more, like, in shape person and muscular, then you must be, like, you must have goals, or, like, you must be trying to get to something.
Wait. I'm gonna switch up the question a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because I feel like this is the direction it's going in. What's your type?
What's my type?
Yep.
Oh. This is not what I got. This is not what I signed up for the podcast.
Get prepped for this.
No, I did not get prepped for this. Did you know this?
I had no idea. That's why I asked before.
He had no idea. Yeah, I had an idea.
We have to hear Quartz. What's your type next, though?
My type. I'll tell you my type.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
So, okay, damn. This is a hard-ass question.
Yeah, you did yourself on that.
Now, you had that one written down, didn't you?
I know.
Oh, okay. I guess, well, I already talked about physical a little bit.
Yeah. But no, because you didn't give a type specific.
Okay, well, the problem is, not the problem, but the thing is I've been with many different kind of people.
I'm saying, what is
my preference?
Bringing that word back.
Like, okay, someone that's of fair height, okay, for one. Someone that is fit, like in shape. You don't have to be like bodybuilder, but you know.
Ain't gotta be but
yeah. Yeah.
You gotta have a little bark.
Yeah, a little bark.
Little bark, little bite.
And then I don't know, like that's kind of all I have on physical. But
boom. Now let's get into the brain work.
Hardware. I need someone that will, like, challenge me a little bit. Like, I don't want to be always, like, I don't think a relationship, especially like a romantic one / sexual one, should be where you're, like, always, like, it's just you two in your own world, right? Like, think that if I'm gonna spend this part of my, like, this much of my time with someone, or like be invested or whatever, like care about them, then it should be a normal relationship in the sense that, like, you have a different opinion, I have a different opinion, and we can talk about it. And if it stays different, like, okay, hopefully it's not like, you know, something that ends it, but like there has to be some kind of like discourse, like you know, you have opinions. And so I guess like that also falls in line with, I think, most people that are like intelligent of some sort, and I don't mean like book smart, but like just like, you know, things about the world, like you understand a little bit. A thinker, yes, a thinker. Because I am, and if I'm with someone that does not think about things and like just like lives in the clouds, where it's not gonna work. So there's that. Also, like, funny. I think that's a pretty common one, but like, I don't think like life is always has to be so serious. So if you're escaping into this other world and like you guys can laugh about things and have these like similar things that you think are funny or interesting, like that's important. So yeah, like I don't know, like I feel like that is not very specific, but it's generally like if I like really like someone or like choose to like someone, like they usually fall into that category.
Bow.
Yeah.
Kimmy's type.
Smart, handsome, tall.
Ooh. Damn, I feel like we've been at this for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this shit up.
Shut your ass up, nigga. You here with it.
Oh shit, your beat. You fine, good. You fine.
Oh, y'all don't want to work with us?
Boy, you're not about to do this.
Shut up. Okay. Bow, bow, bow. Well, that's it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in.